Hello everyone, this is Never. Today I will analyze the movie Blow Up from the production field, and my topic is how narrative elements gain meaning in non-rap film, and specifically combined with the sound characteristics of the movie Blow Up. The core content of this play is how sound gain meaning in non-genre film. Next, I will describe the characteristics of sound or music in the movie Blow Up and explain how sound plays a role in non-genre film and its significance. Firstly, let's look at video, but you can focus on listening to the audio. After listening to this audio, how do you feel it? And let's start. So I want to ask you, how do you feel it? Actually, this is an application of short chord in a video. Short chord usually represents a sudden unexpected change in harmonious, and it creates a feeling of tension or surprise. This is a fixed feeling brought by the type of music. So today, let's first talk about what is genre film and its characteristics. So the genre of a film plays a critical role in shaping audiences' expectations and experiences, according to Sketch. And according to Sketch, the expectations are cultivated through various production elements like shorts, music, angles, visual effects, and so forth. And then today we will talk about the sounds in genre film, and today we specifically talk about the thriller films. Elements gain significance in relation to the world of the genre. And in genre films, the audience will expect the following sound like firstly, tense in the dissonant scores with suspenseful chords in the unsettling harmonious. Secondly, people will expect the strategic silence and shock cues. Thirdly, people would like to expect the subtle sound design that like creaking doors, footsteps, or distant whispers. Hearing the music or sound means something terrible is about to happen. For instance, when you heard this sound, hear this sound. When you hear this sound in a thriller movie, are you ready to cover your eyes and curl up? So that's what this type of music or this type of music can represent. So that's what the significance of this film is firstly it can immerse viewers in the suspenseful world of the film from the very beginning, and it can synchronize with the plot and contribute to the overall rhythm of the film. And lastly, it can elevate key moments, leaving a lasting impression on the audience. According to Gray 2010, she said, in genre film, to understand how music creates meaning in film, an audience must understand how musical conventions shape film. However, from my perspective, in non-genre films gives the sound or music means audience should understand the meaning of the film itself first, and then they can understand the meaning of the sound, or they can understand the what music or sounds represent. And today we will focus on the sound of the wind rustling the leaves. One more thing I need to say is in non-genre film, elements gain significance in relation to the film itself. And then let's talk about the sound. The sound of wind rustling the leaves in the park is not a thing in itself. It is a very natural environment sound, but because the sound of falling leaves appears multiple times, even when it appears in indoor scenes, it attracts the audience's attention. When the audience watches the entire movie, they will find that this sound has also become a symbol. The sound of the wind rustling the leaves marks the appearance of the shooting murder in the park. Now let's hear the sound of the wind rustling the leaves. Actually, you can hear some sound of the birds and the sound of some other nature scenes. And in the film, we can hear the sound is heard 5 times in the film. The first time and the second time, the audience like me do not think that the sound of wind rustling the leaves has a special symbol or special meaning. Although the sound of the wind blowing through the leaves can have a feeling that makes people unconsciously tense, especially in uncloudy days, it feels unreal to be wrapped by the nature. At, at the same time, the sound will make the environment more wider and empty. So all these characteristics can increase the tense, but it will not have some specific roles or effect. But seeing the wind, but listening the sound of wind rustling the leaves in the background when Thomas blew up the photos indoors give viewers not only a sense of immersion but also a new perspective on the sound. The audience will wonder if that is what happening or it can be a symbol. And this is also proved in the subsequent film content when he come back to the park in the dark to check on the situation about the guy. The wind was particularly loud. The dark night and the forest wind added to the grim atmosphere. When people have a certain amount of speculation about the sound, this environment can exaggerate the atmosphere of the tarot. So let's make a conclusion of how sounds gain meaning in non-genre film. Let's make the example by the blow up. So I think that the first approach is they select the most prominent and representative sound from the background environment. It is called environmental immersion. Thus, it immerses the audience in the film environment, creating a sensory experience. And the second approach is they make the sounds appear many times in the movie so audience can have their own expectations and interpretations these by the times the sound appears. And the second main point I want to discuss in this presentation is about how death loses its meaning in non-genre film. As we all know, in genre film, death usually has a significant meaning. Death may be the thread that runs through the film because usually the dead person is shown at the beginning of the movie, and the whole movie will explore the reason of the death or find who is the killer and finally solve the mystery. But here it creates a mystery, so nobody will know what is the truth and nobody will know what was going on. And then for the discussion part, I found two interesting things I'd like to share with you. Firstly, when my roommate first heard the music at the beginning of this movie, she didn't think or she didn't recognize that it is a thriller movie because the music at the beginning don't have the don't is not about the thriller or it is not a horror. So the music of this movie at the beginning can better highlight the feeling of the times rather than the scary atmosphere. And the second point is when Thomas returned to the park to look at the corpse at night, there was a sudden shutter sound, just 1 second, a shutter sound, which increased the horror of the movie. In fact, it showed that Thomas changed from the watcher in the original filming to a person being watched. It adds the horror atmosphere. That's all for my presentation, and then this is my references. Thank you.